What else?
Another one that I do get sometimes, actually fairly often, is that your real hair? I do actually get that one sometimes. People ask, is that your real hair? And it's baffling almost. I'm like, what? And they'll say, no, I thought it was one of those hats that has the mullet coming out of the back. I have gotten that one at least half dozen times.
Yeah.
I'm like, if it's real, will you buy me a beer? Gets them every time.
Longhairs. I am your exorbitant and generous host, El Travieso, here with the CEO, co-founder, everything to this company. Not everything, but you get what I'm saying.
El Rubio, what's up, man?
How you doing, bro?
Thank you for the excellent intro.
It was all right.
Our second episode of the main cave together.
Together.
Juiced.
Shacked.
What are we talking about today?
Today, what are we talking? We're going to be talking about top 10, not necessarily top 10, just a lot of comments we can get as fellow long-hair brethren, things people say to us day-to-day basis, and how we respond to them. How's that?
That's phenomenal. Well done. Well executed. Really put the pressure on this guy.
Applying that pressure. That's my middle name.
And he just hangs in there. So we do have a great blog post, the top 10 comments about your hair back from June of 2020.
A little bit newer.
We'll link it up here. But we do have 10 listed out here, but we're not limited by any number of comments about your hair.
No.
So we could go off a few of these, but just off the top of your head, is there a common comment that you tend to get about your hair?
Me being with kind of the style that my hair is cut in, sweet mullet. Right now, it's not super robust, if you will. It's not a super robust mullet. You know, last time I got it cut was by my cousin's girlfriend in her kitchen, and before that was like 2 years prior. So I haven't really been too up to date in the trim department, but it's been pretty mullet-esque. It's a little bit more grown out, but everybody seems to appreciate a good mullet, unless you're like my mom or something like that. Then it's when are you gonna get that damn thing off your head? But she's just a hater. We don't listen.
It's one of the comments that we get often.
Yep.
So you get the nice mullet, or
most of the time. I'd say 90% of the time it's, dude, sweet mullet. It comes at the most random times from the coolest people, too.
What do you say? It's not necessarily like a derogatory comment. I actually get that one a lot, too.
For like sweet mullet, or?
Yes, all the time.
You get?
Yeah. And it's because I'm always wearing a hat most of the time.
Yeah,
and
me
so
as
you
well.
can only see it coming out of the back, so a lot of people assume that it is a mullet.
A little bit of a sidetrack right here. When you wear hats, are you a tuck behind the ears kind of guy?
100% tuck behind the ears guy.
Me too, and that is, I would say, a large contributor to why people think we have mullets.
Yes. I cannot wear it any other way.
Yep.
I've tried before, the hair down on my ears and or front of the ears.
The
how much
look.
do you put in front? How many? Do the ears poke through or not? My ears, I'm already a hot-eared person.
Yeah,
it's very uncomfortable.
We're white dudes. We get red ears.
Dude, I don't like it at all.
I don't like it at all.
Hair tucked back 100% of the time with the hat. There's just no negotiating on that one.
Yeah.
So it does look mullet-esque with that format.
You'd rock a mean one.
What do I say here?
Dirt.
Another common misconception, which also tends to happen while wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's under their breath. Dude, check out this guy's mullet. I do hear people say that about me as I'm walking by.
Yeah.
It's not a mullet, but thanks.
Mine's, thanks, dude. I'm actually going to cut it into an even meaner mullet soon.
And it means that it's righteous enough, at least in appearance, to make a comment to you.
Either way, it takes a lot of dedication, hard work to get your hair to that point. So it's a compliment. Anything's a compliment if you take it that way.
Yeah. Words of wisdom.
I don't have a lot of wisdom. Only been here 20 or so
Wisdom
years,
beyond his age.
Beyond my age. It's what happens when you hang out with a bunch of old dudes all day. No offense.
Dude, you're in the house. So do you ever get mistaken for a lady?
No, not really. I feel like my hair's not super long enough. I feel like that comment kind of comes around when you're not wearing a hat more often than not, and Since my hair is it's a little bit in the awkward stage on top just because it was a mullet before. I don't really get caught without some sort of headwear on as of late, so I don't really get that comment. But I know you, on the other hand, probably get that comment a little bit more.
It doesn't happen regularly at all. It has happened a
You're
few
pretty
times.
Juiced lady, dude.
Over the years.
A broad-shouldered.
Yeah, we have a meme
woman.
or a GIF in this blog post illustrating the point of a server or bartender walking up behind and saying, "Excuse me, ladies."
Oh yeah.
It has happened. Not common though. And you got the big shoulder.
Yeah. No, I don't got that.
All right. How about you should get a haircut?
Oh, from people I love,
Probably the most common.
of course.
Are they saying it partially in jest but kind of mean it too, or where does that fall?
I'll start with my mom. You know, she's seen my hair in every stage it's ever been in. She kind of likes that more of like the clean cut look. And after I started growing my hair out a few years ago, it's too much work to keep. You know, you might think keeping the long hair is a lot of work, but it's work that I want to do. It doesn't seem like work if you like, you know, doing that kind of maintenance and that kind of upkeep. But going to the barber to get a trim every 4 weeks, you know, to keep that fresh fade up, it's just not for me anymore.
Cumbersome.
You know, my genetics have kind of not blessed me too well in the hairline department. I could see it going back a little bit. You know, I'm too young for this, man. I can't be thinking about that. So the long hair does kind of disguise. It kind of gives me the curtains, the bangs a little bit, you know. But my mom's all the time. She's yeah. When are you gonna cut that? When are you gonna cut your hair? When are you gonna get rid of it?
Even still now that you work for the Longhairs?
You know what? She has been very partial to me being here and you guys and all this. So she's not really on that. She'll say it more jokingly now, but
still,
every joke contains a little bit of truth in it.
Yeah.
So it's there, but I do get that comment a lot.
Okay.
More than I would like, but you know, you're always gonna have somebody out there who's hating on you or wants to have what you got going on. Not everybody has the nerve to rock a mullet, and even less people have the nerve to say, "Screw you, I like my mullet."
Dude, tapping into the confidence
100%.
aspect.
Yeah. Inspire.
Right there, emblazoned on the wall.
Right there.
I'm going to give your mom a pass, though. She's a really sweet lady. Gave me a ride
yes,
home one night.
I
late,
remember that.
late in the evening after a long day's work.
Yeah.
And more
was
than
a
a
great
few
night.
frosty brews. Yeah, that was back in December, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
Still very thankful for the ride home. So we'll let her slide on that one.
Yeah.
But we have another blog post where a guy in a bar did tell me I should cut it. Most people don't say that to me nowadays, but it has happened before, and wrote a blog post about that one too. He was a European guy in a small ski town, and he was just baffled. He's like, "Why would you have all of this? And you should it's so much better to have it." So that was a great blog post. You should cut your hair if you're searching the blog for that one, would be the title of that one.
Yeah, we're not telling you to cut your hair.
And beyond the shocking absurdity of suggesting that I cut my hair,
Yeah.
you know, I've had short hair.
Yeah.
I know what it's like. I know it feels nice and fresh and clean.
I've seen the 10 years ago photo when you were embarking on your grand worldwide journey.
Yes,
You were a
dude.
handsome man then, but you know what? Even more handsome now.
Hey, the short hair was a good look, but thank you.
Yeah.
I think I've really grown into it, if you will. The length.
That's a great way to put it. You've grown into your hair. What else?
Another one that I do get sometimes, actually fairly often, is that your real hair? I do actually get that one sometimes. People ask, "Is that your real hair?" And it's baffling almost. I'm like, "What?" And they'll say, "No, I thought it was one of those hats that has the mullet coming out of the back." I have gotten that one at least half a dozen times.
Yeah.
I'm like, if it's real, will you buy me a beer? Gets them every time. I know you don't go to bars yet, but you could use that one when you
Keep
start
pool
going.
tables and bars. That's all I have to say about bars. Six inside.
Sigs inside. And yes, it is my real hair.
Yep. What else?
Another one I get often. Nice hair, man.
Yeah. I mean, mine's less of nice hair, man. They go a little bit more specific with me. I know we kind of touched on it earlier. Dude, sweet mullet.
Yes.
Or, actually, I will cite one funny instance I kind of had. It was last weekend. I was down in the Bay, and older gentleman comes up to me, behind me actually, as I'm staring off into the abyss, and he hits me with, "Dude, you got a sweet one." And I'm standing there, I got on some like flip flops. I'm thinking maybe he's talking about my big toenail that I broke last month or something like that. And I turn around, I'm like, what? And he said, "Dude, it's sick." And again, I'm like, "What are you talking about, dude? Like what?" He said, "Your mullet." And I was like, "Oh." And I was like, I had to think that I had long hair again. You forget you have it sometimes. But it's not even super, super obvious that it's a mullet.
No.
And he's going on, and he's, "Bro, you play baseball?" I was like, "No, I don't." He's like, have you considered growing out your mustache?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not too gifted in that department, dude."
Working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it. Be back. I'll speak to you in about 6 to 7 business years. But yeah, the super sweet mullet mustache combo is what we aspire for. But it's good in the meantime to get those nice wholehearted compliments.
Yeah, absolutely. It's complimentary.
Yeah.
Guy was giving you some gas.
Yeah. Okay.
And you say older guy, like your grandparents' age?
Yeah, he's seen the other side of the 60s.
So it's funny.
50s.
We're talking about some of the older generation. Maybe your grandparents could be giving you a hard time about the hair, but another gentleman of same or similar generation, it's all perceptions. And it's just, it could be a totally different, even the generational gap that we're all pretty familiar with, it can even be different within that generation.
It can.
Where some, my grandpa would tell me, we used to hire guys with long hair and they wouldn't show up for work or they wouldn't do anything about it. And it was a connotation that was really commonly held in that generation. But here, then a guy in that same range is pumped on the flow.
I hate to judge people on how they look, but you can almost always tell how they're gonna take you having long hair if you just look at him.
Yeah.
This guy, he's wearing board shorts and like a puffer jacket with like a San Diego, like a beat up Padres hat. Like, guy he was like the epitome of like old dude OB.
Yes. So you had pretty fair guess that he's going to be in for the flow.
I don't want to say not all of the older generations are down to earth, but it's nice when, especially being my age, when you have an interaction with somebody who's definitely well older than you, and you guys are on the same wavelength for at least something. And it's not every day where you have to talk to somebody who has 40 years, 50 years on you, and you guys share some common ground. So at least sharing common ground on something like that is something, if you have long hair, you can look forward to, especially if you are, a younger guy like me. Every now and then they're out there, and those compliments, especially from the people who you don't think are going to give you those compliments, do mean more, at least to me.
Long hair transcends.
It does.
You heard it here.
It's tight.
Well, for anyone who is getting some comments about your hair that are not positive, whether it's from close folks in your family or friend group or some random stranger on the street, the one go-to that you can always use is referring back to you're growing it out to donate.
Yep.
And it could be a very disarming. Of course, if you do have plans to do that, if you don't, that's not something you would want to say. But
yeah,
hey, I'm growing my hair out because I'm going to donate it to charity for some kid who can't grow their own hair out. Yeah. And if there's anything that's going to disarm a flagrant commenter, it's a comment like that. And I'll usually quiet them down pretty quickly.
Yeah, for me, it's a two-step kind of thing. I'd like to think, at least for myself, I grow my hair out for a couple of reasons. Well, let's say a few. Obviously, it looks pretty cool. But I am big into lacrosse culture. I love indigenous culture as well. Being here in Southern California, we have a strong Native American presence in the Kumeyaay Nation, and many Native kids, predominantly across northern North America up into the lower Canadian areas. A lot of kids were sent off. A lot of Native American children were sent off to boarding camp and were forced to cut their hair. So there was a ton. You hear all the stories about natives getting their hair cut off, and you got to think, like, I'm growing my hair out, even though I don't have that indigenous blood within me. Being able to grow your hair out for those who couldn't grow their hair out. And then you think about it in the manner that we like to foster, or not. You think about it in the lens that we're looking at it here. Not only are we growing our hair out for somebody who couldn't grow their hair out, we are then cutting it off and then giving it to them. We're making wigs for children who can't grow their hair out free of charge. That's something amazing that you don't really find too often.
Growing for those who couldn't, right?
Yeah.
Is that it?
That was one of the things I remember when I was kind of going through getting on the team here. You kind of asked me, like, why do I grow my hair out? And obviously I'd thought about it before, but it was never crystal clear to me. Mm-hmm. So I had to take a step back and think about it, and then it became more obvious. Obviously I like how it looks. I like being around guys with similar traits as I do, but there's always something bigger to the picture that you might not always see.
Yes, man. It's a great cause, great just a great thing to have in your heart as you're growing along.
Coming full circle back to what you said. Make them feel bad. Somebody's gonna say, "Hey, your hair looks dumb. Why do you have that?" I'm growing it out to donate it. I'm growing it out for somebody who could not grow hair off of their head. If you want to be bald by choice, sure, but some kids don't want to be bald.
About as strong and heartfelt of a response as you could say to anyone.
Yeah, and then they'll walk away feeling dumb, and you have a smile on your head and a hopeful head of hair because you're showing up to the Great Cut 2024.
Letting it ride.
Letting it ride.
Well, whatever comments you are getting about your hair, go back and check out the blog post. Top 10 comments about your hair. It's a classic. Give you some other pointers on how you can respond to negative or positive comments. And I'll be honest, most of them are positive. Like, nice freaking hair, dude.
Sweet mullet, bro. Dude, you got a sick one. What are you talking about?
And know that that's what they're saying when you hear a guy say, you got a sick one.
If somebody says that to me again, I'll probably, oh yeah, he's talking about the hair.
Now you're ready for it.
I turn around and he's talking about my bionicle arm.
Could be that too.
Yeah.
Hey, great rapping with you here on the main cave.
Yeah, always flows.
Till next time, keep letting it ride.